You got
Yeah.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Chris. This is Darren. This is Disney fan art with Chris, and we got some fan art today. And we pretty well opened it up, didn't we, Darren?
Yes, sir.
We opened it up for all different kinds of things, and we've got drawings, we've got stitches.
Stitches. Who got cut?
Well, you know what I mean. What do you call it? I don't. Oh, wait. I was like, where are we? Okay. Oops. Okay. But yeah. So, what do we want? What is that called?
Is it stitching? Like where they put it in like this little freight thing and they do a thread and needle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stitching.
It's needlepoint.
Needlepoint, yeah.
Yeah. So you just got back to Idaho.
Yep.
How was your trip?
It was good. Like I was telling you earlier, I watched my first Star Wars movie ever on the plane yesterday, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I used to just never be into big sci-fi stuff until like Marvel and all the movies started coming out years ago, and I watched them. I'm like, why don't I ever watch Star Wars? It's sci-fi, just like the rest of this stuff.
Right.
So I gave it a shot, and I watched the last one.
Right.
Like I talked to you the day I was at your house. I'm going to have to really like start those in order,
right,
so I can follow it. But yeah, there's a lot of action and it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you like that one, then you're gonna really like the other ones because a lot of people didn't like that one. A lot of people really didn't like the one before it because but there, from what I understand, there's lots to come. Hey, Christina. Yeah. So, but
it was 2 hours and 22 minutes long, that movie. I had to end up finish watching it between Las Vegas and Boise because I fell asleep on the plane while it was playing.
Right.
I was super tired, but I had a White Castle the day before we left, and last night when I got home was when it decided to say, "Hey, here
Rachel."
I am."
Rachel says, "Hi, Darren."
Hi.
So we've got, I'm trying to think how much art we have today. Let's see, we got mine, we got yours, we've got Rachel's, we got 2 from Nicole and 1 from Heaven. So we've got 3 drawings, 2 needle points, and 1 crochet.
Oh, a crochet. My sisters and my mom, they all crochet. Christina's starting to learn how to do it on her own. Well, I mean, she done it years ago, and now she's starting to redo it again. But
right. Can you see that?
What is it? Yeah. Hi, Darren, my fellow Idaho friend. Hi, Rachel. We about died last night on the freeway with all the rain. We hydroplane. I was ready to get back up in the airplane.
Yeah.
Car about run us over. Literally almost.
Are you ready to get into it?
Yep.
All right. Let me get down here and get ready to share the screen up. Are you ready to get into it? All right. Uh-oh, where'd it go?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, there they are. All right. Let me know when they're up. Are they up?
Yep, Mickey and Minnie.
Yep. And these are Rachel's. They're Zoom Zooms. You ever seen those before?
Mm-mm.
They kind of look like, the only way I can explain it, they look like the characters if they made them into Twinkies.
Oh. So you can eat them with milk.
No, you can't eat them. They're a plush, but their bodies are like their heads in the front and then their bodies out, and they stand on little feet. But yeah, so she drew Zoom Zooms. So Mickey and Minnie.
Nice.
I think they look really good. I like them. I haven't seen a Zoom Zoom in a while. But yeah, I really like those, Rachel. They look really good.
Those are cool.
Yeah. So Let's move to the next one. I don't know what's next. I didn't put them in any particular order. But we'll take another look. Oh, it's Darren's.
Oh, nice.
Zazu. You drew Zazu. I drew him when we did the 30-day art challenge.
Yeah, his tail feathers were wanting to be challenging to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what I did, these are the top 5 most underrated Disney sidekicks. And I call them what ifs. And I have all 5 of them on here. And they're in different orders here. But I want to see if you can name them from 5 to number 1 or whichever way.
I can name 4 of them.
Okay. What's the one's number 1?
Number 1, I would say it's Scuttle in the middle.
Yes, sir. That's correct. Number 2.
I'm going to go with the flying carpet.
Negative.
So then it's Zazu.
Negative. Number 2 is the chief. Don't let me mess this up. How do you pronounce his name on Beauty and the Beast?
Are you sure it's not Chef?
Yeah, Chef. I'm sorry, I said chief. It's the chef. He's number 2.
Right.
And, okay. Carpet from Aladdin is number 3. 4 is Zazu, and 5 is Flit.
Flit, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chef. His full name, I don't really know it. I know Zazu, I know Scuttle, I know the carpet, and I know Flit. I can tell you what movies they're from, too. All of them.
Yeah. And so what it is, why I call it a what if, is because what if they didn't exist? What would have happened? How would the movie have turned out? Like,
right.
If Scuttle hadn't been, like, here's the thing that I read this from. If Scuttle hadn't been absolutely horrendous at serenading Prince Eric and Ariel, Sebastian may have not been as inclined to create the beautiful masterpiece that is Kiss the Girl.
Right.
Also, if Scuttle hadn't been around to teach Ariel about snorfplots and dingle hoppers, she may never have developed such a fascination with the world of humans, and thus may never have met Eric.
Right.
We can't imagine a world where this didn't happen. Thanks to Scuttle, it did. Chef from Beauty and the Beast. Where's his little? Here it is. So it says, we recently spoke in depth about Chef, emotional journey in Beauty and the Beast. We met Chef on Bella's first night at Beast's castle when she refused to come down to dinner. Chef was devastated that his efforts to prepare a meal had gone to waste. Then Belle wanted a late night snack, and Chef stepped up and prepared to dazzle her with some of the most delicious food we ever seen.
Wow.
The most of the inhabitants of Beast's castle were actually friendly and helpful. It should also be noted that a lot of iconic moments between Belle and Beast happened over food, including the meal they had right before the dance in the ballroom.
Right.
And then it says, so it's safe to say if it weren't for Chef, Belle and Beast may have been too hungry and grumpy to finally see something there that wasn't there before.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's really cool that they did this. Carpet from Aladdin.
Oh, I can get this one right off the bat.
What's up?
He would have never been able to get out of the Cave of Wonder without him.
Yep. So Genie got Aladdin and Abu out of the Cave of Wonders, but let's not forget that if it weren't for the carpet, Al and Abu might not have escaped the crazy hot lava river that exploded after Abu stole the ruby.
Right.
Also, if carpet weren't around, Aladdin and Jasmine would not have been able to go on their famous magic carpet ride, fall in love, and become one of the greatest couples of all time. And then it says, thank you, carpet. Zazu was extremely annoying to Simba and Nala, constantly ordering them around. We all know that. Simba and Nala hated him at times. However, if it weren't for him, nothing would have gotten done in the Pride Lands. Not a thing. Zazu clearly kept everyone in line and did so magnificently. Zazu was also the one to get Mufasa to save Simba and Nala when they were in trouble with the hyenas in the Shadowlands.
Right.
So much as Simba and Nala complained, Zazu kept them safe and thus should be applauded. So big hands to him. Flit from Pocahontas. I don't even remember Flit from Pocahontas.
Really? You don't remember Flit? Huh?
Because I haven't seen Pocahontas in years, maybe.
Right.
Probably. So the little caption has for him is, Flit had an opinion at all times in Pocahontas and let everyone know it. We love him for that. He managed to keep Miko in check most of the time. If Flit weren't around, we think Miko would have gotten in a lot worse trouble and maybe would have caused Pocahontas to miss meeting John Smith. Also, Flit was not having it with John Smith when he first arrived, and thus helped Pocahontas see that John Smith needed to be schooled in the colors of the wind. If that hadn't happened, John Smith would still not know why the grinning bobcat grins. Thank you, Flit, for being squeaky voice of reason. But
right.
that was just really cool stuff right there. There was actually a top 10, but I took the top 5.
Right. Okay. So in the middle, we got Scuttle.
Yep.
Do you know who voiced Scuttle in The Little Mermaid?
I don't have no idea with voices.
Do you know who Buddy Hackett is?
Yes.
Buddy Hackett did the voice of Scuttle.
So now every time I look at Scuttle on this paper, I'm going to say, hey, buddy.
And then Zazu. Do you know who voiced Zazu?
No, I'm not good with voices. And
Rowan Atkinson. Do you know who that is?
No.
Mr. Bean?
Oh, I know who Mr. Bean is.
Yep. That's who did the voice of Zazu.
Okay.
So Carpet didn't have a voice. Flit didn't have a voice. I'm not really for sure about Chef. He may have had a voice, but I don't think it was like anybody that was, somewhat famous like Buddy Hackett and Rowan Atkinson. I'm not saying they wouldn't be famous for voice acting. They could be, but
I'm not going to read all the descriptions, but to follow up the top 10, number 6 was Dopey from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
7 was Cricky from Mulan.
Yeah.
Mulan. Jack from Cinderella was number 8.
Right.
Number 9 was all the pup thugs from Tangled.
Right.
And number 10 was Marshmallow from Frozen.
Oh, the guys from the Snuggly Duckling. Yeah.
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 So I just thought that was cool because they were just the sidekicks that are underrated. No one really talks about them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he did a really good job. I mean, they're easy to tell who they are. Like I said, I drew Zazu. He is not easy to draw.
No.
The beak. I think I had problems with getting the beak to look right on mine.
Well, his right hand right there.
Yeah.
At one time I had his fingers. They were super long. And I'm like, man, what the heck's going on here? And I just stopped, got me some more coffee, and went back to it later.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but that design on that Aladdin carpet was the worst for me.
Oh, I bet it was.
Because it's like I couldn't get it centered to where I wanted it for it to fit.
Right.
And I was actually going to color these, and then when I got to look at them, I'm like, I think I'm just going to leave them like this.
Let's see. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be holding out.
No,
Clayton's in the chat. No, I'm talking about the chat. Clayton's in the chat. He says, hi, Dad.
Hi, buddy.
All right. Let's go ahead and move to our next one. I think it's a needlepoint, if I'm right. Yeah. This was Nicole, Heaven's roommate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's Snow White's. That's Snow White's, or not Snow White. I'm sorry. It's Sleeping Beauty's castle.
That is nice. That's what I was trying to draw that I ripped up last week.
Yeah, I could tell. But yeah, this looks really good. This would take some time to do too.
Yeah.
But
did she do that within a week, or did she already have it done?
I think she already had it done.
Oh, that's cool. I was going to say, that looks like it'd take more than a week to do.
You can see it's behind glass because there's a reflection on. Yeah.
Yes, I see there now. The bulb. Yeah. Kind of makes it look like the sun is shining down on it in a way.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and we'll move to the next one. I think the next one is Heaven's. And Heaven crocheted this. This is Baymax from Big Hero 6.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think that would be another one you'd like because it's a superhero movie, but it's Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she put stuffing in it?
I do not know. But
looks like it has stuffing in it, like
she had it halfway done, and she goes, "Dad, can you tell what I'm making?" I said, "It looks like a pair of pants." How am I supposed to guess what you're making? And then she sent a picture without his the eyes and everything. And she goes, "Do you know now?" And I knew who it was, but I was messing with her, so I was like, "Oh, is that Olaf?" she's like, "No, it's not Olaf." I said, "Solly."
Wow.
She said no, and I said, okay. She goes, you don't know who it is? And I said, I know who it is. It's Baymax. And she goes, yes.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's really not. I don't know how long something like this took her. It must have not took her very long because she said, she told me on the stream last night we was on for hanging with the family. She's like, yeah, I got to get mine done for tomorrow. So, yeah. So it looks really good. I really like it. So, but yeah, you'll have to watch that movie. Like I said, Big Hero 6 is a really good movie to watch.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to our next one. And this is another one from Nicole. It's also so she's got the monorail and it says por favor. I can't say it, but it means please stand clear of the doors. There's t-shirts that look like that and everything. And then of course she's got the Disney balloons, the Mickey shaped balloons. And
oh, I see that.
Yeah.
I knew there was balloons there, but I didn't realize they made shapes.
Yeah.
Mickey.
So yeah, this looks really good. Once again, something that I'll bet the castle took longer than this though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So, but
that castle has a lot of detail in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The umbrellas down below look really neat.
Oh, I'm sure. There's even a little red balloon coming up between them two on the right.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, look, there's one all the way to the left, like a purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it barely. It's like almost hitting the rail there.
Yeah, the monorailing. Yeah.
Now, why is it in Spanish? Why can't you put it in English?
Well, that's because what it is when you're on the monorail, it says, please stand clear of the door. Por favor, manténgoos alejando de la puertas. I don't know how to say it. I don't
That's
speak.
pretty good.
Yeah. So
you don't want me to even try to give it a shot.
But it gets stuck in your head. And what's funny is I've asked friends who are Spanish to say it, and they don't say it the same way. And then when I finally let them hear what it says, they said, I guess it's like the, how do I want to say it? The formal way of saying it. So, but yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, it's the monorail. I mean, the clouds even behind the words look really good too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. And I think we're at our last one. And this is mine.
Oh, nice. Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. I just wish, that
was
Jessica.
Really nice, Chris.
I wish Jessica would have turned out a little bit better.
She looks fine.
But I think I did better on Roger than what I did on her. I wish Jessica would turn out.
That looks really, really good.
But yeah, I started out drawing Jessica, and I think I had to redraw her head because the shape of her head was kind of difficult. But once I got the shape of her head and everything, then I drew everything off of her. And then after I got her finished, that's when I drew in Roger.
Like how he has his hand up there, like pushing her pants out of the way, like he's coming out,
Yeah. Basically, I had an idea for a different drawing for this, but I don't know if you've seen it on Disney Plus. There's a new show on called Prop Culture.
No, but you've told me about it. We haven't watched it yet.
And I actually watched the one on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it just inspired me to change what I was going to draw, and I drew this. So
nice. Honestly, I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid.
Right. Well, it was way ahead of its time. I mean, yeah. And you'll never see all those cartoons in one single movie ever again. Because you're talking, well, I mean, you know, you had Disney, you had Warner Brothers, they were all in there. And matter of fact, enable for Warner Brothers to allow Disney to use Bugs Bunny, they said Bugs had to have just as many lines as Mickey Mouse did.
That's like when I was looking up what to draw for this week. I had seen a thing like rare stuff to draw that people don't realize. Like the Ninja Turtles, some of their stuff was actually filmed at MGM Studios.
Right. Actually,
I thought when I first seen that, I'm like, I don't think they're a part of Disney. So why are they at MGM? And MGM just used to rent the studios out to a lot of people for that.
I think at one time Disney did own the rights because of now they own the rights to the Muppets and Jim Henson. And Jim Henson's the one who did the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Yeah, it had a big article about stuff like that, about that.
So,
and that's why they were filmed at MGM Studios.
Right.
But it did also too say that even today they still rent MGM Studios out to certain people to film their movies there.
Oh, there's Nicole. Thanks for coming in, Nicole. And of course, Clayton. Hey, Chris, guess what? What, Clayton?
I'm surprised he's even awake. Oh, wait, he don't sleep as much because his schoolwork is over with.
Right.
So now that he don't even have his Chromebooks, I'm sure his mom took it back to the school. He'll probably be up all the time now instead of sleeping.
Right.
And I'm sure he'll feel better. He won't feel sick.
Oh, she said it took her a week through. It was a last-minute Christmas gift. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
I gave up on the sky. Was that? Yeah. We you know, we looked at him, the Sleeping Beauty castle. That one was amazing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Mine would have looked like a maze if I would have done it with a needle and thread. Where do we go now?
I wanted to do a craft. I did. I was like looking for ideas and everything like that. But the thing is all the stores, all the craft stores, they're still closed. You can't go get anything.
Yeah. Once Hobby Lobby opens back up, we're doing this crafting stuff. I'll go there. I'll get me some supplies. But what I wanted to do, and who knows, I might save it for later because it's going to take some time to do it. I want to get them Connects toys.
There was a lot of
and make a replica roller coaster of one from Disney. Just pick one and make it. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that's what. There was a lot of yelling.
Sounds like me when I was drawing that. It must be that castle. That castle makes people mad, belligerently.
I doubt
I ripped mine up because it was ticking me off because I couldn't get it right.
I bet that castle, when Christina's gone to Disneyland, it's never made her mad.
She's never tried to craft it or draw it or whatever.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if you've tried to craft it, redesign it, draw it, it's probably made people mad. Now that she said that, she did a lot of yelling. I did a lot of yelling in a short amount of time.
Right. Clayton, you're Justin Winchester. Your dad did not relieve what he told me I could do.
That's right. Once a rule, always a rule.
So we kind of opened it up this week. What do you think we should leave it open, or do you think we
Yeah, that's cool because you get a lot of different things come in. When I'm sure no one has a kiln to be able to do pottery and bake it up. I'll just cook it in the cook stove.
I meant, why not? You were going to bring a crock pot to a picnic with ice cream in it once.
Yeah. Well, they serve fried ice cream at the Mexican restaurant. Why can't I bring it in a crock pot?
But yeah, no, I think we ought to maybe we leave it open, but kind of put some guidelines to it. What if we did like
have a theme every week?
a theme, or what if we went with a certain movie?
Yeah, that would even work. So I thought about that too today. Like next week, maybe Star Wars or something from a Marvel movie or something from a newer Disney movie or something from like an iconic Disney movie, like from maybe one of the originals.
Right.
What is the original movie from Disney? Like the very first one ever?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. The second one would have been Pinocchio.
Oh, that's a lie.
Pinocchio, I think, out of all the old ones, is my favorite one. So I think the part where it shows bad boys when taking to Pleasure Island turn into donkeys, I really like. So
I've always said I really wish Disney would have took over Shrek.
I wonder if somebody already took Clayton to that Pleasure Island.
Oh wow. This is a family show, Chris. This is rated G. We won't discuss what happened at the hotel.
He said nope.
Just put it this way. He got busted.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also like doing stuff from the parks.
That's cool too.
So
let's do that next week. Let's do something from a park.
Right. Of course, I could always
limit it down to do something from a park outside of the United States.
Ooh, that's kind of tough. Did you know? Well, here's the thing. You know who Jules Verne is, right?
No.
Jules Verne, he wrote about stuff that hadn't been invented yet.
Oh.
Like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
The submarine hadn't even been invented yet.
That is crazy.
I'll stitch something new next time. Okay, Nicole. But yeah, and over there in Japan, I think they have Disneyland, they have Disney Sea. I don't think they've got Disney Air yet. I might be wrong.
Disney Sea would probably be cool because we don't have one of those here.
But I think Disney Sea may be based on all Jules Verne, because Walt Disney loved Jules Verne. And
that's cool.
But yeah, he did like what was it? Journey to the Center of the Earth. And I think he did 80 Days Around the World. I might be wrong about that one. But
I don't know. I'm illiterate on a lot of that shit or stuff. Excuse me.
Yeah,
some people probably think, well, this guy don't know nothing. Well, I don't.
but you know, he wrote a lot of stuff before it was actually invented. So I mean,
that's really crazy. Cool. Like the submarine, like how would he even know? So that makes you wonder, the people that invented the submarine,
well,
did they like somehow know? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you gotta think.
Jules Verne.
I mean, you know, they're like today sci-fi kind of sparks. I mean, if you look at a lot of stuff we had, I mean,
drones.
Well, drones, but I meant
they were in sci-fi movies years ago.
You remember we used to have the flip phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nobody has one now. Well, I'm sorry, someone might still have one, but you gotta think. Remember Star Trek? They had the flip. Yeah. So, but yeah.
And everyone always liked Back to the Future. Everyone always laughed about flying cars. Well, heck, they've talked about making those now.
Oh, Rachel liked what Heaven put in. Yeah. Heaven. I think she did a really good job on that. Unfortunately, Heaven wasn't able to be with us. I think she was picking a friend up from the airport in Tampa. So.
Oh, she had a little bit of a drive then.
Oh yeah.
Orlando to Tampa.
Yeah. But yeah, she was going to be on here because she was working late on it, and she wasn't sure if she was going to get in time. So she forgot at that when she was telling me about it that she had to go pick up a friend in Tampa. So, but I don't know. It would.
So we got to Vegas yesterday on the airplane. Had a layover. And I thought those cheeseburgers in Phoenix were expensive. They were $30 for 2 of them.
Right.
Chris, 1 10-inch sub at Vegas was $20.
Wow. I'll tell you what. They have this place in Vegas, and they have this place in Disney Springs. I don't know if you guys have ever ate at one. Have you ever ate at an Earl of Sandwich?
I have not.
Oh my. I've never ate the one at Disney Springs, but I ate at one in Vegas. The best BLT I ever had. Yeah, you would think, bacon, lettuce, tomato, how could it be the best? I don't know what it was. It was really good. But
it's all about the bacon.
Right. So let's hold on. Let me do my little visual I did for you earlier. All right. Hold on. See,
why can't they have an SLT?
I don't know.
Sausage, lettuce, and tomato.
Oh, I thought you were going to say salmon. All right. So even though Disney World is closed, I can still go on Splash Mountain. Everybody's like, okay, it's getting corny. Let's leave. Did she like that?
Christina's laughing. Well, I mean, this is arts and crafts. You have to get creative.
Oh my gosh, Clayton. I'm driving to Winchester after we're done here.
You don't have to go far. Just, from where you're located, go through Saratoga and just stay on that main road out of there.
Well,
you run right in this house.
Okay, let's open it up. Anything Disney related, but if you want to do a subject, let's do anything from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, let's do.
I mean, that opens us up not only to Disney, but it also opens us up to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do Bugs, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck. I mean,
it's so crazy. When you sat and really think about all the cartoons and all this stuff, like how many different characters are out there in the world, just from what we've been exposed to in America, like all the different cartoon characters, not with just Disney, but Warner Brothers, and everyone, all the different cartoon characters. It's crazy to how many there is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, probably, I always loved Disney, but the ones I like to watch, because when I was a kid, there wasn't much Disney cartoons on like there was when it hit the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always loved Hanna-Barbera. Like Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, Scooby was one of my favorites, and so was Ninja Turtles.
Obviously,
when I was a kid growing up.
You don't know what that term means if you think I'm one. He's calling us boomers. We're not.
That would be our parents' generation, yes. Clayton. They would have been the baby boomers.
Yes, we're Generation X. You would be Generation Z.
This channel, Clayton, is rated G because everyone watches it. But I think we're going to start limiting it to you have to be 14 years of age or older to type in chat.
If you're in the chat, Clayton is Darren's son. So, but yeah, that's what I think it would be neat because, and then there's other stuff. There's like Benny the Cab, and the Weasels and everything like that. I mean, you could still draw Disney, but draw the, also the just the characters from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So, you being a super Disney fan, Chris, I've learned more about Disney in the last month and a half just from watching your stuff and doing this stuff with you guys than I ever have in my life. But what all rights does Disney own? Like Warner Brothers, if you will. Like what?
They don't own Warner Brothers. No.
Or what's been a part of them? I guess I should say. What all these other companies have gone with Disney?
Disney owns Jim Henson.
Okay.
So they own the Muppets. They own Star Wars.
Right. Marvel.
They own Marvel. As of right now, I mean, if there's anything smaller than that, I'm not really for sure. I know it. They've owned other stuff like in the past, but they let their rights run out. So, but I think the whole reason why they picked up Marvel and Star Wars was Disney, with some of their movies, it seems to be more targeted to like girls. You know what I mean? The princess movie, stuff like that. So I think what they were wanting to do were they were wanting to try to get those teenage boys. So that's why they got Star Wars and they got Marvel. So, and I think it's really, really cool what they're getting ready to do with Star Wars. So, because they're going to try and do like what they've been doing with Marvel. They're going to have what's going to be called the Star Wars Cinematic Universe. And they're going to be going into video games, comic books, and anything else that had to do with Star Wars that wasn't part of the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So, but of course, The Mandalorian, I don't know if you've seen it. The Mandalorian is probably one of the best shows they've ever done. I mean, they've always compared Star Wars to being an old Western in space.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is like a spaghetti Western.
Okay.
Yeah, if you didn't know who was in the Mandalorian outfit, you would have swear up and down it's Clint Eastwood.
Clint's a good actor.
Oh yeah,
that's my mom's favorite, Clint Eastwood.
But yeah, I highly suggest if you liked any of those old westerns, like the spaghetti westerns that Clint Eastwood was in, watch the first season of Mandalorian because the second one's coming out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to ruin anything of the movies.
Right.
But there are like stuff from like Clone Wars and stuff like that. But it's really Bill Burr's in it. You know who Bill Burr is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in one of the episodes. And Horatio Sands is in the first episode, but it's kind of hard to tell. He's got so much makeup on that you can't tell it's Horatio Sands.
So I wonder in Disney, because I'm a competitive, so, you know, I like wrestling and UFC, but so I wonder if you take all the villains from Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever, I wonder who the toughest one is out of all of them. Like who could like be the king of all?
Squirrel Girl. You're laughing. Squirrel Girl is an actual character.
I'm going to start getting real more knowledgeable about Disney stuff because I don't want a lot of these people get on here like, who's this guy? He don't know his butt from a hole in the ground. Like, no, but you know, because I know even there's so many things out there. I don't know how you keep them all straight.
Well, I mean,
I guess it's like me with wrestling. Hell,
well,
I've been watching wrestling since 1983.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up with it. I mean,
or 86 rather.
I mean, and like you're talking wrestling, I mean, I kind of grew up with that. So, I mean, I know a lot of that. I mean, if there's anybody new today, I wouldn't know it. I think, what was it? I started back into wrestling because Haley, when she was 14, got into it. So I think besides when I was in the 80s, when I was a kid, and, you know, it was big because of Hulk Hogan and you had all that, you know, the rock and roll wrestling era and all that kind of stuff.
That's what should happen. If Vince McMahon retires and hands WWE over, he should just hand it over to Disney.
I think his competitor in the past had actually worked more with Disney than what he did. Because wasn't I think
WCW
WCW
was owned by Ted Turner at one time.
I think they did a lot more with Disney than what WWE has. I could see maybe AEW maybe doing something. But
because like back when I remember when I was a kid, they had a wrestling cartoon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wonder who done those. I'm gonna have to research that because I don't even know that.
But
I don't know about.
I think if you watched them today, you'd be like, "Oh man, these are so corny."
Imagine how good them ice cream bars would be of wrestling. You remember them old ice cream sandwiches?
Yeah.
Disney owned them. They'd look like the Mickey Mouse one. You got like Mickey Mouse and Andre in the same pack.
But yeah, I don't know. Tell you the truth. But
like I always said, Disney, you probably heard me say this 101 times. I'm going to say it 103. I think Disney should have done Shrek. I think they should own Shrek.
Let me explain this. All right. So.
Okay, donkey.
No. So, before Bob Iger was CEO, he's the CEO now. I believe it was Michael Eisner. There might have been somebody in between, but I think it's went Michael Eisner, Bob Iger. All right. And I read the book on this. And Michael Eisner, he had people that were below him that helped him. And there was a guy named Katzenberg. I can't think of his first name. And Katzenberg thought that he was being, groomed to take over Michael Eisner's place as CEO. And Eisner was kind of delusional. For some reason, he compared himself to Walt Disney, all kinds of weird stuff. And it turned out Katzenberg wasn't going to be. Katzenberg got upset. He had a friend named Geffen who was in the business. Katzenberg, Geffen, and Spielberg got together, and they created DreamWorks. So Katzenberg was the actual guy who came up with the idea for The Lion King.
But you know what? And this is true too, from what I know and what I've always been told, what I've read. But those people that are delusional and those people that have these weird thoughts are the ones that make the best of these cartoons that we watch.
Right.
And what I've always heard, like you take Winnie the Pooh, for instance. I know this is a show for families, but I heard that the people that when they first created Winnie the Pooh, that they were like high on certain things. And that's how they come up with heffalumps and woozles and all that other stuff.
I don't think
how much that's true, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't think A.A. Milne was. But
I'm sure probably some of the adult cartoons that are out there in the world, I'm sure that's probably the case, but I'm not too sure with like maybe all these kid stuff. But it takes a wild imagination to come up with some of these characters, their names and how they look. And you have to have I have a pretty good mind to be able to think of stuff like that too. But
you got to think about it. A lot of the animated movies that are made by Disney were stories that were already told, like Cinderella, Snow White, you know, they were all like what Grimm, the Grimm story tells or the tales. The Little Mermaid and Frozen came from Hans Christian Andersen.
Right. Well, it's just even like when we were kids growing up, they didn't have a lot of these movies that we see now, but we had the comics to them.
Right.
And so now we're getting to, if we had a chance, because I did read a lot of comics when I was younger. I used to collect them, but I never read them all. And I don't think my mind was there to understand all of them, but I read a lot of them and had a lot. And now, in this new day and age, a lot of them old comics, they're starting to make movies out of it. It makes me want to go back and read the comics because even Marvel, I've always been a huge Marvel fan.
Right.
I don't remember Black Panther, but now that I watch the movie, I want to go back and find the comic from the 60s.
They actually at one time, because of, you've heard of like the Black Panther Party.
Right.
Well, they were afraid that they would associate him with that party, and they actually changed his name for a while. So, but
I could see critics doing that.
Well, I don't think it was critics. I think it was Marvel. I think Marvel seen it themselves, and it was like, let's not get wrapped into something.
Yeah, they were just looking out for the what if could have happened.
But I think what it was, I always like Marvel. I know there's people out there that like DC. I've met them and everything like that. And, you know, I'm not saying anything against DC. I mean, I like Superman. Well, actually, Superman to me is probably one of the boringest heroes out there.
Yeah.
They literally had to create something that's not real to weaken him. You know, that's how strong. And when you're so powerful like that, I just think you're a boring character. I think a good superhero is, as a character, is someone who has some kind of flaws.
Well, like you speaking of DC, I like DC too, but I've always been bigger into Marvel. And the first time you ever heard Marvel versus DC, I said, "Oh, Marvel would kick their butts."
Right.
And then they had like Mortal Kombat versus DC or something. I'm like, Mortal Kombat would even kick their butts. So, I mean, Batman's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
But he really doesn't have no
he's not
superhero stuff.
He's
smart.
He's a super detective.
Right. And he has kind of like X-ray vision, if you will, with heat thermal. And he's super strong and has a nice car.
He's just
but he's not Spider-Man or Black Panther.
I mean, right, he's rich, right?
Yeah.
So if you compared him to somebody in Marvel, it'd be Tony Stark.
That's true.
And if you look at the Bat suit and the Iron Man suit,
they are pretty relatively close, yeah.
Well, but
the way they work.
I think Iron Man is way more advanced than what the Bat suit is.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was with Tony, he was more into technology. He created all that stuff himself.
Right.
You know, where Batman, of course, was more martial arts and everything like that. So I would, if it came down to Iron Man versus Batman, I'd say Iron Man would have Batman all day long.
I do too.
But
somebody they're like, well, Batman can fly. I'm like, he doesn't fly. He glides off of buildings.
Yeah.
He doesn't fly.
Unless he's in the Batcopter or the Batwing.
Right. Right.
But, all right, not to get off the subject, but we have to get on the subject of what we're going to do next week.
Oh, yeah, we better get back to that. We did kind of get off for a minute.
So, do you like the idea of maybe doing something from Roger?
Yeah, I do. I like that.
I mean,
anything from the movie or the cartoon or the comics, anything from Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. I'm probably going to stick to original Roger Rabbit characters. Is what I'll probably do. But of course, any character that's in Roger Rabbit, even if you draw one of the live action people, like Eddie Valiant. But I don't know. I was really inspired by watching that pop culture, and I think, Roger Rabbit, we'll go with that. So, and you can do the same drawing I did, I don't care. I mean, it's right here.
Or you can do half of it. You can do the front half or the back half.
Or the top or the bottom. All right. Mm-hmm. I think we're probably going to wrap this up. So next week, once again, we'll leave it open because if it's not something you can do and you're looking at doing something, we're going to leave it open. They don't have to be drawings. They can be any kind of craft, anything like that.
Yeah, Clayton, you could get in on this. That Play-Doh that you got, that we got for you, you could make something out of your Play-Doh of Roger Rabbit. He's probably like, who's that, Dad?
But if he hasn't seen Roger Rabbit, he needs to see it. But we're still gonna leave it open, but the subject will be Roger Rabbit. So hopefully the majority of it is Roger Rabbit. If you're not able to do Roger Rabbit and you want to do something else, we'll still show it. What else?
Even if you just want to draw the car from Roger Rabbit.
Benny the Cab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if I could find a model of it from Hobby Lobby, I would totally put it together.
I mean, that would actually be something neat, even if you can't put it in a kiln, but to make like a clay model, you know what I mean? Of something, that would be great. But yeah, even if it's just some kind of craft, I don't care. Something like that. But I think because I'm willing to see anything. I love anything that anybody does. So,
Christina has really impressed me over this drawings because she failed art class when she was little,
right.
with finger painting.
Okay.
So I just was always been amazed by it. I'm like, see, you should have just went on.
Yeah.
How do you fail finger painting as a kindergartner?
Well, they say most people quit before they even fail. How do you fail finger painting?
She told me that before she ever started drawing. I was like, really? Come on.
All right, but yeah, we've got to wrap it up. So the subject for next week: Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Like I said, if you can't do something from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, anything Disney related will work. But Roger Rabbit actually opens up a lot of stuff. So
even if you take Mickey Mouse and make him look like he's morphing into Roger Rabbit.
What if instead of that you took Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, made him look like he's morphing into Roger Rabbit? But
with a basket full of Easter eggs.
With a basket full of Easter eggs, yes.
The Easter Bunny's about to be coming.
That morphs from Oswald with the Easter eggs to Roger Rabbit with Reese cups.
Yeah.
But all right, so thank you, Darren, for being on here. Stick around with me for a little bit. I want to thank everybody in the chat, everybody who participated this week. I really appreciate it. I think everybody did a really good job. And next week, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Get to working on it. Please have it in by Tuesday. I have been taking some late submissions. If it's here before I start getting things ready, I'll try to put it in. So it'll be Darren. But
we had a lot of traveling yesterday.
Yeah, I understand.
And I knew I was going to relax today and didn't have nothing to do. And I said, I'll work on this all day and get it done before he gets off work.
But yeah. So I think that's going to wrap it up. You have anything to say, Darren? Anything?
No, I'm just kind of excited. Someone will probably be a wise person and just draw the frame for Roger Rabbit. And that'd be it.
Draw the blinds where it had his his silhouette going through it.
Gives me an idea for that last minute
they
entry.
Actually in that prop culture, they actually talked about how they did that in the movie. And they did it in one take.
Really?
Yeah. You're gonna have to watch.
How'd they do it?
They had somebody draw his outline on it, and then they cut. Yeah, they cut them right, and then they had to somewhat glue them back into place. And then on the back, they had little strings, and they had it hooked up to something. And when they did it, they pulled where it all looked like it come out.
Oh, like your arm looked like it just disappeared on your green screen.
Yeah. But so yeah, next week, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Any kind of art, any kind of crafts, something great to see, But like I said, if you can't do Roger Rabbit, do something Disney. But we'll be here next week, and I hope to catch you on the next fan art with Disney, or Disney fan art with Chris. And Darren will be here again. So we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Peace out.